Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Kenzie's Krimes.
Milwaukee police found body parts in a north side apartment.
Not because I was angry with them, not because I hated them, but because I wanted to keep them with me.
Believe me, if I started murdering people, there'd be none of you left.
This is evil, what those people have done to me.
She says Heaven's Gate awaiting.
I'm not guilty.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for Kenzie's Krimes, where she takes us on a journey while we all sit around the campfire about a dramatic, it could be murder, mystery. We don't know. She lays it out here for me and Case and you, and then we try to figure out and learn more about Chicagoland and the crime world.
Now, Brian, I'm going to grab your attention early right now because I am going to talk about pizza for a second.
Pizza.
Done.
Yeah,
I am
know.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me sit up here for a second.
No, wait a minute.
Locked in now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to figure out how to get you more into my stories, and this is what I came up with.
I love them without pizza, but pizza's nice.
This helps. This
is nice.
I'm aware. So you may remember a very popular pizza spot that sat on Chicago and Damon named Bella Pizza.
I do.
Yes. It was many families' favorite for years to come, and although I was never able to try it, many reviews claimed the salty crust was superior.
I am the Sultan of salt.
Yes.
I love extra salt on everything, and I do remember their salty crust, and it was delicious.
Yes. Okay. So this story is actually about that very pizza place.
I was just going to talk about one of their pizzas with ricotta on it, but I'm not going to do that.
Okay,
I don't want to distract everybody.
Yeah, I know. I know you're getting into a deep dive here. Okay.
Pizza.
So Michael Cosmano owned the successful restaurant. He actually opened the pizza business with money he made off of a successful real estate deal. So that you can't relate to Brian as your real estate deal.
No, I'm not good at
successful.
that.
Yeah.
Good at pizza.
Well, yes.
Not good at flipping houses.
As we've learned. He also worked part-time as a security guard, and his wife, and his children were regulars at their local church. So in 1981, one of the employees of Bella Pizza, 29-year-old Milton Rodriguez, grew tired of the working conditions. Milton was trying to organize his fellow pizza delivery drivers to carry out, no pun intended, a work stoppage for better pay and working conditions. When he arrived for work, Milton approached his manager, who was on staff at the time, about getting pay raises, a conversation that was overheard by the owner, Michael Cosmano, okay? Cosmano, allegedly under the influence of cocaine at the time, became enraged and started fighting and throwing blows with Milton.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
That's what cocaine does.
It does do that. And also asking for more money from bosses. The manager had to separate them, telling Milton to go outside. Milton walked out of the back door into the alley where the other drivers were. He sat down on a short concrete wall and began drinking from a beer bottle another driver handed to him. Inside the restaurant, Cosmano, still coming down off of his alleged cocaine high as well as anger high, was talking to another employee who told him that just a few weeks earlier, Milton had actually argued with a cook that Cosmano was very close to. Cosmano once again got flooded with rage and anger and went outside yelling at Milton. He pulled out a semi-automatic gun from the small of his back and pointed it at Milton, who then uttered the words, "What are you going to do, shoot me?" Which unfortunately is one of the last things Milton ever said.
I know it sounds like something you should say to, puff your chest up if someone does that. Don't say that.
No.
Don't say that with someone.
Especially a cocaine-influenced person who's already angry.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Not good. Cosmano fired a single bullet piercing Milton's heart.
Oh.
He died in that alley, and his true last words were, "What about my family?" as he left behind his, at the time, 3-year-old daughter.
Oh.
Now, with an alley full of employees who are now witnesses, it seems like an easy case to close, not when no one would speak. And I'm going to stop right there.
Okay.
Because you are going to be shocked about how long this took to solve and why no one would talk about it for this long.
Well, we had the pizza recipe. They didn't want to lose it by getting fired.
Yeah, they didn't know how to make the ricotta pizza yet.
Pizza.
All right, we come back. The conclusion of Kenzie's Krimes today with Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Now is your chance to qualify for the golden ticket. Please don't text and drive. Standard message and data rates apply.
Q101.
All right, we have a new one going right now. So whatever you texted the last hour, it's gone. Or the hour before that, they're dead. Those keywords are gone. A new keyword for this hour for the Q101 Golden Ticket, the greatest radio prize in the history of radio. You'll get access to everything Q101 does for a year, from Riot Fest to Riot Fest and Lollapaloozas and lounges and Twisteds, everything. Plus, you're qualified for Pearl Jam tickets at Wrigley Field Thursday, August 29th. How amazing. They haven't been to Wrigley Field in about 6 years. They were at the United Center last year. I was at that show. But personally, I've always missed their shows at Wrigley, and I'm really upset about it. So hopefully you are too and you want to win. So text the word flow, as in even flow. So FLOW. Text that to 312-591-8300. Text flow, FLOW, to 312-591-8300 right now for your chance to win. And in the meantime, we'll come back after Third Eye Blind with the conclusion of Kenzie's Crimes for today.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101 with the conclusion of today's Kenzie's Crimes. And you want to give us a quick recap to catch us up?
Yeah, so if you're just joining us, don't worry. You didn't miss so much of the story that you cannot stay. Basically, Bella Pizza was owned by Michael Cosmano, who was believed to be, a family guy, part-time security guard, worked really hard, went to church. 29-year-old Milton Rodriguez was one of his employees, and he started putting up a fight for higher pay, better work conditions. Cosmano was allegedly on cocaine when some of these things were happening and ended up shooting Milton in his back alley.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
With an alley full of employees, you would think this is a super easy case to close. Tons of delivery drivers saw this happen. However, no one would speak. Cosmano was rumored to have mob ties, and the murder that was just committed in front of them certainly didn't make them believe otherwise. So, in fact, this case went cold, and no one spoke on it for nearly 27 years.
What?
This is insane.
I wonder what those guys were just going like, I didn't see nothing. You were right there, had a pizza going in the car.
I know.
But I got to say, though, last name Cosmano, I ain't saying anything either.
Interesting.
Forget about it.
Yes. Actually, Cosmano's lawyer made a comment about, it's unfortunate that if your last name ends with a vowel, you're automatically guilty in this city.
Forget about it.
Just to kind of tip of what you just said. So,
wait a minute, so I'm in the wrong there, I think?
Well, now you're just being bad. So, August of 2007. Now, this crime happened in 1981. This is August of 2007. Chicago police detective Salvador Esperanza, which, by the way, Salvador was my cat's name, named after where my great-grandpa immigrated from.
Oh.
Isn't that sweet? So I love that name. But
Did you call him Sal or full-on Salvador, the cat?
Salvador. I loved that name.
Didn't your parents make you get rid of that cat?
Yes. Thanks for bringing it up, Case.
Oh, you brought up the cat.
Well, in a loving way. No, he destroyed the entire house, and they had enough of it. It was really sad. Love him.
Oh, rest in peace, I'm sure, by now.
I hope he's still alive. I don't know.
Would he be like 30 now or something?
Yeah, I mean, cats be doing that. Anyway.
He'd be balding, he'd be 30, and just living a tough life.
We got him to a really good home.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Out on a farm somewhere?
No. I had to meet the person who adopted him. I'm not diving into this. It's really sad.
When parents do that, you know what happens to the dog and cat.
Okay, that's enough. So anyway, Salvador Esperanza, he received an unexpected call from a man that said his conscience was bothering him. He claimed the fear of Cosmano mob ties stopped him from coming forward. So time definitely dulled his fear, but not his guilt, and now the witness was ready to talk. So over the next 8 months, detectives from the department's cold case unit crisscrossed the country, finding other delivery men from the pizzeria who worked that night and saw what happened. Authorities, now armed with 6 eyewitnesses, charged the then 56-year-old Michael Cosmano at his Naperville home with the murder of Milton Rodriguez. His bail was set at $500,000. His family proclaimed his innocence, while Milton's now adult daughter was ecstatic at the justice being served. On April 16th, 2010, Michael Cosmano was sentenced to 29 years in prison for Milton's murder. His alleged mob ties, however, were never proven or confirmed.
Forget about it.
Now, just before the cold case was reopened, Michael had actually started the demolition and reconstruction to remodel Bella Pizza. And to this day, it sits on Chicago and Damon as a vacant, destroyed, and weathered building. If you drive past it, completely destroyed. And it really is like time standing still because it was in the middle of construction, and then this murder catches up to it, and it definitely has an eeriness. So I'm very happy for Milton Rodriguez's daughter, who's now an adult, to finally get that justice. Her father was taken from her. Total senseless crime. And I do want to give a shout out to our crew member, Hillary, who sent in the story and asked me to review it.
I just add one thing to this.
Yes.
There is no mafia. I don't want anybody to meet me in the parking lot, but it's really a shame, like I said, how this all played out. But at least justice was done down the road. Way too late.
Way too late. I'm really happy that one man, I mean, he was the domino. So if he didn't have that guilty conscience, like everyone was keeping quiet out of fear for their own life, which I can't blame them. That's very scary. And again, somebody gets murdered in front of you. I think that you believe that maybe this guy is tied to the mob. So I do understand that, but I'm very happy many, many years later that justice did come, especially for Milton's family.
Forget about it.
Kenzie's Crimes.
Milwaukee police found body parts in a north side apartment.
Not because I was angry with them, not because I hated them, but because I wanted to keep them with me.
Believe me, if I started murdering people, there'd be none of you left.
This is evil, what those people have done to me.
C says Heaven's Gate awaiting.
I'm not guilty.
Q101.
Well, there's another Kenzie's Crimes in the books, and if you missed any of it, maybe you came in on the conclusion only. You go back to our podcast later on. The full thing will be posted at Q101.com. The Brian and Kenzie podcast actually has its own little feed on there, so very easy. Well, it's a wild one. That was amazing. So, yeah, if you missed any of it, go back and listen to it. And if you liked it, share it. How about doing that? So coming up here in just about 8 minutes, we'll give you that keyword again for the golden ticket. We just gave it out about 10 minutes ago. So the golden ticket, Q101's golden ticket, everything we do for an entire year, and a chance at Pearl Jam tickets for Wrigley Field Thursday, August 29th. All that with a keyword coming up here in 8 minutes.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.